best life right here, right? All right, a little more snow out there this morning. Let me show you what's happening, where we have snow showers swinging right on through Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Not the heaviest of snow, but there is snow nonetheless. Our low is just pretty far offshore. Boston really didn't pan out too much for you when we have rain this morning out around the Cape. So zooming in to show you where it's snowing. Springfield, we've been going back and forth with little precip type changes. We are in snow right now. Temperatures are down to 30. Hartford, we're at 32. That's the thing, is that we don't have a real, strong cold air mass in place with this system. The low is pretty far offshore. There's a lot of things that make it not a blockbuster storm, but a little snow nonetheless could create some travel hazards this morning for your commute. So let's time that out. Here's your morning travel and thinking about what's going on for you as you get back to work this morning across Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. We've got some snow showers, light as it is, will be coating England area. Exactly. Although lately we've gotten active right here. We're almost out of the drought completely. Got another system we're going to track Saturday into Sunday. We'll see how close to the coast this one is. And the west, we don't get a break. One system coming in Saturday into Sunday. There are no extremes today east of the Mississippi. Everything's in the middle of the country or the west. So we're going to McAllen, Texas. This is our hottest spot today, 82 degrees. Your average is 70. And big time change from last week, right? Today's also National Spaghetti Day. So how about you make some Texas spaghetti, which I just learned doesn't actually have any spaghetti sauce on it. It's like ground beef and cheese and onions and mushrooms. Oh, good. Yes, let's start the new year off on a very positive note. So, after the year we just had, we're ready for a fresh start, right? In Texas on New Year's Eve, well, we got it. A round of fresh flakes adding up. I mean, look at this. This could be anywhere in the mountains in the northwest or the northeast here, but yes, this was southwest Texas. Now, not only is the snow falling sideways, you can see the windmill spinning in the background. We had the wind, we had the snow, we had it all. But this actually is really good news to kick off 2021. Why? Well, it's going to help out with the drought. Let's take a look at how the summer played out in Texas, because that's actually, when the drought really got firmly entrenched across this area. We have the extreme drought all across, an exceptional drought actually across parts of West Texas. Now, not everywhere that's in the drought got the snowfall, but some of the areas did. And snow actually is a good type of moisture to bring to a drought area, because it kind of soaks into the ground here just very slowly, as opposed to potentially running off if it comes as heavy rainfall. Speaking of heavy rainfall, we've had plenty of that in the northeast, and we also have been dealing with the drought. Go back to October and you can see all that drought, extreme drought across a big chunk of New England, and then we brought December and the rains that came with it. I know it was a bummer for so many outdoor plans, etc. But when you look at how that drought evolved, look at this, pretty much going away as we start 2021. Really good news for us here into the north and east. Now, another piece of good news to start your new year is, I know, in the wintertime, the days are short, the nights are long, but once we hit that winter solstice, every single day is getting better. And look where we are right now. Look at Boston. This is a great example. So Boston, our latest sunrises of the year are about to happen. Once we get into next week and the week after, we're adding like 8 or 12 minutes a day of daylight every single day. So your daylight hours are stretching. And by the time we get to the end of the month, we are almost at a sunset after 5 p.m. Wouldn't that be nice? Here, look at the Atlanta area too. So same thing, our latest sunrises of the day are happening this week, and then we start to really expand the amount of daylight that we have. So adding, 7, 8 minutes, even 9 minutes of daylight by the end of the month every single day. And you take a look at, our sunset after 6 o'clock by the time we get to the end of the month. So that's the optimist way, Steph, of looking at it.
It is. I think
the haves are haves again this week compared to last week. Look where I jump right to, the southeast. Here comes more rain. Back to Tennessee, back to Alabama, back to the Florida Panhandle, where you guys were soaked with rain last week. And yes, a little snow chances swinging on through parts of the south, Tennessee, Kentucky. We'll watch. We'll see. Chattanooga, a chance of a snowflake? Maybe. Charlotte? Maybe. Not a big one. Don't get too excited. We watch that system go out and off the coast. We'll see how close this gets to the northeast. New York, it's not you, but it's Boston I'm watching for that system as it scoots out to sea Saturday into Sunday, and then another one coming in. The way we do it. This is the way we start the new year, with a positive attitude, with some good news. We're ready for a fresh start. How about a fresh white start in Texas? Let me show you this. We had snow on New Year's Eve, and you can see these flakes flying around in the strong wind. Here we go. In fact, look at that windmill in the background, the spinning in the wind. The snow added up. In fact, some of you got more than a foot of snowfall, and this is good news to kick off 2021. Why is that? Well, we are in a drought in West Texas. In fact, we are in the worst worst of the drought, the exceptional drought category, and it really became entrenched over the summer. This is June, not so bad, a little bit dry in spots, but then we got no rain all summer long. There really wasn't much of a monsoon this year, just no moisture came out. And now, as we wrap up the year, we do have this exceptional drought from New Mexico down into West Texas. Now, we got the snowfall. It wasn't exactly in the areas with the worst drought, but it's an area that needs rain and moisture. And at least with snowfall, it doesn't run off, right? You get a kind of slow melt into the ground, a slow melt. Fort Stockton got about close to an inch of liquid equivalent here, and that's good news. All right. We go to the Northeast, where we also saw our drought really get bad this year, and especially in New England. Now, we had such a rainy December. Look at all of this rainfall, but some of it might have come as snow, but the liquid equivalent of it here across the Northeast, that pretty much got rid of our drought. It did certainly across Southeast New England, and there's just a couple of little abnormally dry areas left, and that's it. All right, then we go to some good news that happens every single year this time of year, is that once you hit the solstice, our days actually start getting longer, and it really becomes noticeable by the end of January. Look at Boston. So our latest sunrises of the day are almost here. We've already had our earliest sunsets of the day, and by the end of the month, our sunset is almost at 5 o'clock. That would be nice, right? But more importantly, we keep gaining minutes. We're up to, 13 minutes plus of daylight every day, gaining that by the end of the month. The Atlanta area, same thing. Our latest sunrises of the year are almost here. By next week, we'll be going earlier and earlier every day, gaining daylight, and by the end of the month, our sun sets after 6 o'clock. Steph.
All right, so let's talk about how it's
been getting it. Now, some more good news to start off our new year, right? After 2020, we're just ready for a fresh start. We got that in Texas with some snowfall on New Year's Eve. I mean, take a look at this. A round of fresh flakes really adding up. I mean, some spots more than a foot and a half of snowfall, like around Fort Stockton. We saw it flying out here in Junction, Texas, and look at the wind and the windmill in the background. Yes, so snow came in an area that wasn't just novelty and fun, right, to get some snowfall. It was actually really good for us when it comes to the drought that we had really building across parts of West Texas. Go back to the beginning of the summer. This is June the 1st, and it really was just a little bit dry, but nothing that bad in the drought. That got worse all summer long, just no moisture across the Southwest. No monsoon really this year. And so we are in the exceptional drought, which is the worst drought category here in West Texas. Bring in the snow at the end of 2020. Well placed, right? Not everyone got it, and certainly not the worst of the drought got it. But this is an area where January is actually your driest month of the year. So good news there to get, it's a little something to start the year. And that snow, slow melt, if you will, helps get it into the ground. Then we take a look at the Northeast. I mean, we had the drought too, extreme drought. And we really saw that strong at the beginning of the fall. Then we look at what happened in December. All of this moisture, some of it rain, some of it snow, all of it actually helping to alleviate the drought. And we're pretty much starting 2021 without much in the way of drought. In fact, just a little abnormally dry up here into the Northeast. So good news there. The other good thing about right now is that we're gaining daylight. I know the winter nights are long and the days are short, but it's getting better. That's the positive thing about the winter solstice. In some ways makes it better than the summer solstice, because now days start getting longer instead of shorter. In fact, you take a look at a place like Boston, where by the end of the month, we're gaining 13 minutes a day of daylight, and we're almost at sunsets after 5 p.m. Steph.
Let's have